Lee Strobel. Lee, you personally have had some interactions with an angelic being. Tell us about that.
I did, and I was embarrassed by this for years. I didn't want to talk about it because people could think I'm insane. But I had an experience when I was 12 years old. It was the most vivid vision, dream I had in my childhood. It's the only thing I remember from my childhood in terms of a dream. An angel appeared to me in my home, and I intuited immediately that it was an angelic being, and he was talking about heaven and extolling heaven, talk about the beauty of heaven, the wonder of heaven. And I listened for a moment, and I said, well, I'm going there someday. And he looked at me, and he said, well, how do you know? And I thought, what kind of question is that? What do you mean, how do I know? I obey my parents pretty much. I get good grades in school. I'm nice to my friends. I'm trying to justify how good I am to get into heaven. And he looked at me, and he said, that doesn't matter. And a cold chill went through my body. How can this not matter? How can my efforts to be a good person not matter in terms of getting me into heaven? I didn't understand. And he looked at me and he said, someday you'll understand. And then the vision ended. Well, I kind of wrote it off and said maybe it was a bad pizza I had or something. I later became an atheist. I suppressed it. And yet, 16 years later, my wife brought me to a church. And I heard the gospel explained for the first time, that it is not based on the good deeds that we do that open the doors of heaven. It is based on receiving this free gift of God's grace. And as soon as he explained that in a way that I got it, my mind flashed back to that encounter with that angel. And I thought that's exactly what he was trying to tell me. And when I was 12 years old. And what tells me, talk about corroboration. There's two things about that experience that tell me that it was something beyond my imagination. First, the angel told me something that day that I did not know, that salvation's not based on good works, but on grace. I didn't know that. So he told me something I didn't know. And secondly, he made a prophecy that came true 16 years later. So to me, what do I do with that?